So as we all know now, Resident Evil 9 Requiem has been revealed and has taken the gaming community by storm. Finally, the rumors can be put to rest. Kind of. Aside from that, we got introduced a new protagonist named Grace Ashcroft, the daughter of Alyssa, who is on the journey, or dare I say a nightmarish path, to solve a murder mystery and to possibly, or more than likely, to avenge her mother's death as well. As much as I am looking forward to this game and to see the potential of what Grace can be, this video unfortunately is going to have only so little to do with her. As you guys can tell from the thumbnail, this is a theory video. Now, as a disclaimer, as I am recording this video, this theory has been posted on the internet multiple times, so I'm not claiming this theory to be mine. And even if it was originally mine, I wouldn't care anyways because we can all share the same thoughts. So before we get into it, be sure to leave a like on this video, especially if you are hyped for RE9 Requiem, and subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this in the near future. Now, let's get into it. As I mentioned previously in the beginning, I talked about the rumor mill very briefly. And I know a lot of people are mentioning the Leon and Jill team up on an island with a cult and a mysterious goat man. That was from the Reddit user LutusFix, who by all means is a nasty ass fraud and posted nothing but lies on Reddit. And I wanted to publicly apologize to you guys for even giving him a platform. I take full responsibility for that. And also about the fact that I really wanted to believe it, and it was realistically a pipe dream, so now we can move past it. Now, a lot of credibility was on the line this week involving the State of Play and Summer Games Fest, more so involving two people, being LutusFix and the other being Dusk Golem. Another person I wanted to shout out was Andy from Screensaver Screenfire Germany. Whatever I mentioned Dusk in this future video, tie Andy's name with it because those two kind of helped it all out. Now, I know tons of people find him to be extremely polarizing. Some find him reliable and some others find him to be full of crap. And I was one of those people too, let alone I was waiting to jump on him if he was all wrong about anything. And the State of Play did prove some reliability a bit because RE Requiem wasn't revealed yet. And a lot of people were asking what happened to the name RE9 Apocalypse. Hear me out. My theory is the project name to Requiem was Apocalypse, just like RE4 Remake being named Project Chainsaw. As you guys can see, Raccoon City is pretty much an apocalyptic environment after being sterilized and left to die for 30 years. Maybe that's what they were meaning when it came to that word. And now you're asking, you probably think Dusk Golem and his credibility are completely in the toilet and flushing it down. I originally thought this as well and was ready to jump in, but something changed, especially after the 30th anniversary teaser trailer. Dusk decided to tweet something that raised a lot of eyebrows, let alone when the game got revealed, people came back to the tweet and immediately thought that this guy knew all along. Now granted, I don't know if he's leeching off of other people's info, but I'm going off of what I know. This is what he said. I'm actually very amused by the Resident Evil 9 teasing, but hey, I think it's very likely the show closer. Be a pretty fun requiem to the whole thing. This was 10 plus minutes before the reveal of RE9 and the name being Requiem. So now you sit back and think, he might know something. And funny enough, I made a video just about a week ago recapping every Resident Evil 9 rumor that hit the surface. So I covered it all, and when I went back towards the end of that video to see what Dusk was talking about in terms of the final version of the game before the reveal, I'm gonna say this. Dusk Golem, I apologize, because I was not familiar with your game. A lot of the things he said will raise eyebrows. Not set in Singapore. Single player, not co-op. Third person, more horror than action. Gothic and witchy atmosphere / vibes. Open areas like other RE. Not sandbox / open world. One campaign, Leon is still the main character. Leon isn't the only playable character. That honestly opened my eyes a lot. Jill plays no major role in the final game. The conclusion of Leon's trilogy, RE2, 4, 6, you name it, won't play like any other Resident Evil games. A reinvention of the series once again. Looks at the roots to evolve from RE1, different ways than RE7 did. Substantial evolution of RE formula, really ambitious project. And we all know that Jeff stated how ambitious the developers were. Reanalyze series core elements, RE engine tech from Dragon's Dogma 2 and Monster Hunter Wilds. Biggest budget of any RE game, 9 years development by Lodge. Push above series expectations, puts RE in leading position in horror, a conclusion game, and ends the story that started with RE1 and 0. I also believe the development rumor, despite me saying a few weeks ago that it was fake, and my biggest point to back it up is the RPD and the way it's designed. I truly believe that around that time frame, around 2018 to 19, or just after Resident Evil 2 Remake, RE9 was in development. Another thing Jeff mentioned too was to expect high stakes cinematic action, and along with, and I quote, a bold shift for the franchise. And this is the description for Resident Evil Requiem. RE Requiem is the 9th title in the mainline Resident Evil series. Prepare to escape death in a heart-stopping experience that will chill you to your core. A new era of survival horror begins in 2026. Technological advancements combined with the development team's depth of experience combine in a story with rich characters and gameplay that's more immersive than ever before. Now, we gotta talk about what the word Requiem means. This isn't just a fancy word Capcom decided to just throw in to fit RE9. Requiem means a tribute to the dead, essentially meaning a farewell. That pretty much means that this game will either end the original story, or should I say, somebody else's. And unfortunately, I think the fact that I bring this up may make me lose subscribers, but I might as well talk about it right now. As you all know, for people that know me and my fandom in Resident Evil, Leon S. Kennedy is my favorite video game character of all time. He got me back into the series and is the reason why I am a fan of this franchise to begin with. And I know I'm going to need an explanation regarding this theory, obviously. I'm not a game writer for a reason, and I'm just a YouTuber trying to make a name for himself. Probably in a bad way once you hear this. So, what is my theory? My theory is, Leon Scott Kennedy, if revealed in a future trailer for this game, is going to die in Resident Evil Requiem. Resident Evil 7 introduced us to Ethan Winters, bland but new. Chris Redfield was featured in the game but only by a bit, but in the sequel to 7 his role was way bigger. Capcom may use this as influence, especially knowing that Chris was on the cover of RE8 despite Ethan being the main character. Now, I may be all over the place here, but I do believe this is a single-player journey with Grace and Leon alternating, or something will change. And again, it's all going to depend on if Leon is revealed. If he is not in the game, then this video will age terribly like many of my others. And I know some people are probably going to say, if he's not in the reveal trailer, then he's not in the main game. Maybe as a cameo, but that's it, right? Hear me out again. If Leon was revealed even a single smidge in RE9, he would have taken the spotlight over Grace, drastically. It's very smart for Capcom, in my opinion, to build up Grace's story, but we do know there is a grander tale to tell. And I think that's where Leon and the word Requiem come into play. You can consider other characters like Jill, Claire, Chris, or whoever it may be, and their stories may end. But I think the central point is going to be the end of Leon. But why would he die here of all places? Well, the nightmare ends where it started. He contemplated putting a bullet in his head in the RPD in RE2. Luckily, he saw Sherry Birkin to give him a reason to keep going. But regardless, Leon is human. Every human has their limits. The best case of that is Resident Evil Vendetta after having to kill his former comrades, who were in body bags who turned into zombies, and he drank his sorrows away because of that. Now obviously in Resident Evil Death Island, he wasn't drunk, but honestly his screen time felt very forgettable in a way, if that makes sense. But you do see the downfall slowly starting to show up. It would feel poetic and heartbreaking at the same time. As Leon said, the cop inside him died that day, and revisiting a sterilized Raccoon City could bring back the trauma he suffered, the people he lost, and much more. When you look at the legacy characters, you wonder if Capcom would ever take the risk, and who would it be, and would it make sense? Chris at this time, if not in the game, is more than likely being the father that stepped up for Rose Winters, fulfilling Ethan's promise. Claire is off on her own with TerraSave. Jill still has a chance to be in here, I believe. Leon Kennedy, however, has all the seeds planted for him to come back, especially with the RPD being showcased. I personally view the STARS office as its own thing, but when I think of the RPD, I think of Leon. And I think it would feel so weird having the sterilized RPD without him, because this was going to be his dream, to protect and serve people, and I would really love his story to come full circle. When I think of the BSAA, I think of Chris and Jill, and you get it with the other characters. I could say the same thing with Leon and the DSO, but everyone knows it's the RPD, it's his most iconic place. Now you're probably wondering, how would Capcom do it, and what would make it sting so much more? This is where my personal delusion kicks in, but it does make sense in a weird way to say the least. I've said this in my past videos, if Leon is in a Resident Evil game, you would ultimately assume that Ada Wong isn't far away from him, and vice versa. That's just the way their fates have been intertwined. In Resident Evil 2 Original, for Leon's B scenario, Ada presumably died in Leon's arms. That moment only lasted for a short bit until his suspicion of her being alive came true. This time, from my theory, we are going to flip it around, with Ada holding Leon in her arms and him bleeding out to death for real this time, submitting the new shift and the new era of Resident Evil for good. Now the question of Jill and the others are obviously still in the air, and I have said for years now whatever RE game Leon is in canonically next, this should be his last and final one. Again, he is my favorite character of all time, and no one will ever replace him for me. And I would be fine if he died, because all stories come to an end, and we are in Resident Evil. Not every ending will be a fairy tale like ending. Hell, Leon's life deserves something like that, but that's life in Resident Evil. No matter how his ending would go, even if he was alive, I don't see him leaving happy, because that trauma will remain with him for the rest of his life. This video, in theory, can age like absolute terrible milk. You won't even want to be 100 yards near it. I may have imaginary clown makeup on right now, but I will believe in my theory until it is proven wrong. Leon Kennedy can be in this game as one of, if not the main character, and he will die where the nightmare began. I know there will be some people disagreeing with me in the comments talking about him being the cash cow of RE, but when you really think of it, how much more can he generate? He's getting old. As much as we like to view 50 as still young in a way, we can't deny the facts. Plus, if you want to remake Resident Evil 6, he's right there for you. If you want to make a Mercenaries game, he's right there for you. There's going to be way more content with this trailer. I'm looking forward to seeing if Leon will get revealed someday before the release, but if he isn't in the game, that'll be okay with me. I'm excited to play as Grace regardless, and even another legacy character like Jill. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like on it to help it reach the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the near future. And as always, I will catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, and much love.